So for a while now, I've been eyeing Figma as a design tool and want to see what we can get into today. So one of my friends phones me up and he is currently on this amazing vacation and was asking me if I could help a brother out by doing some short video setups for his channel. And I was like, nah. If you're calling me, brother's gonna help you out the best way that he can. So I'm gonna see about possibly rebranding my friend's channel. The name of his channel is called Geek, Dunn, Ryte. If you have a chance, check him out. He appreciates Destiny. And so I'm gonna kind of go for a Destiny theme there. Just want to kind of see what we can do to freshen up the channel and the brand. So this will also give me a chance to kind of practice Figma. So we'll see how that goes. All right. So in order to kind of get a little bit of inspiration, I have created like a little thumbnail with some Destiny branding here. It has this kind of otherworldly kind of look and feel. And I downloaded a couple fonts to kind of play around with. This font is called Robot Radicals. And then there's another font that's called Bold Killer that I want to kind of play around with. So let's see what we can do here. Let's see. Bring out here. Let's look up Bold Killer. And we're just going to go with the initials of his channel. Makes it kind of easy. I'm holding Shift and clicking up until it gets to the size that it needs to be. Figma is a little weird when it comes to things like you can do cool things like shifting information by clicking really easily on the left and right handles here, but it doesn't quite hit it when you get to this area. Like if I try and click it, it's kind of like find a white rabbit. Like it doesn't actually do it. It's like, gotcha. Yeah. So not going to mess with that. Just so you know, shift up and down. That's your friend. All right. So I kind of like this font. It's really thick and bold and really attention grabbing. And that's kind of the look that I'm going for. I tend to sketch out things. So I have a little sketch that I'm working off of to see what I can come up with and kind of match. So the first thing I'm going to do is I think I'm going to skew this. This font doesn't have an actual italics version, but you know, this is a vector tool, so we're going to push the vectors to see how far we can actually go with it. So I'm going to hit Control D to actually duplicate this and hide the bottom channel, and then bottom layer, and then I'm going to basically flatten this to make it a vector, you know, of what it is. Now make sure that your spacing in between everything is where it needs to be before you do this, because if not, you won't be able to really change the positioning from what I understand yet. I'm still learning Figma, but we're going to jump into here. So there's a couple of ways to kind of maybe do this. You could go into the actual vector tool itself by double clicking and doing this and maybe playing around with some things. Like I could probably select all the bottom stuff here and then shift it over. But as you can see, like it's not doing what I really wanted it to do. So through the magic of the internet and Figma's amazing community, they have what are called plugins. And I got a plugin that allows me to actually do what I want to do, which is skew things left and right. So I'm going to right click. I'm going to come down here and I'm going to go to Skew Dat. Check that plugin out when you get an opportunity. This plugin is pretty dope. Like all I have to do is like, it's already looking way better. And it just, you can go any way with it. You can go this way, hit reset. You can go up and down to kind of like create some kind of skew pattern. So if you wanted to go around like a particular shape or something like that, you can actually accomplish that. That's not what we're doing today. We're just going to do a really short skew this way. So I'm going to hit apply And there you go. Like I have this really, really dope looking font. But we want to kind of push this a little bit more because I've known my friend for a little bit. I know he's into Powerline from the Goofy movie. Us being true geeks at heart, that was one of the things he really loves. So I want to get like a little lightning bolt in there to kind of throw some nods that way. So I'm going to create a lightning bolt. And the way I'm going to do that is with the pen tool. Just going to come here, hold shift, click, and then come over, click, and then join the top click. And we're going to fill it. So I'm going to take away the stroke. Going to add a black fill in here. Ooh, that's gray, not black. So let's come in here and just drag it down to black. And then we're going to duplicate this one. Oop, I got to get out of vector mode. Escape to get out of vector, control duplicate. And then I need to flip it. So I'm going to hold shift, rotate this bad boy. We're going to put this right about there. Kind of want to get some thickness in between the pattern there. You know, kind of give it a nice look and feel. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this. And then I'm going to union it. Now there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can do it by flattening it, or you can actually come up here to tools and you can do different things with the union selection. We'll visit that later, but for now we're just going to flatten this up. We have the original shape. I'm just going to group this really quick and call this bolt. Bolt. I need you to type today, bruh. Turn that one off. And we've got our vector file here. It still doesn't look like it flattened it all the way. So I guess it did. I mean, I don't know. It still treats it as two separate items. Not going to worry about that right now. So we're going to get in that, get out of that. And then just to kind of play around with this, because the background is white, I'm going to change this fill to be white. So let's get rid of these, add a fill, come in here. This is another thing that Figma kind of has an issue with, is it will go into the like this hold mode. If you ever run into that, just click away and click back again and you'll get your handy dandy tool back. That's not what I wanted to do. So now, like, you know, just kind of want to give some offset shapes here. Just kind of see what it would look like with the bolt in there. I'm going to shift this up just a little bit. Yeah, something like that. That's kind of nice. It's kind of nice, but it doesn't quite jive well for a couple of reasons. Number one, this slant here isn't as slanted as the others. So of course we can fix that with the skew that tool. So we're going to hit that again. I'm going to skew it over just a little bit, and I want to just try and match the skew. Yeah, that's pretty close. I'm trying to decide if I want to actually move it into the G like so, or if I want to actually, you know, have it sit here. Let's close this out. Because I want the bolt to be seen, like I really want it to kind of stand out just a little bit. And the tops and the bottoms portion, maybe if I make this top portion taller, kind of messing with my skew a little bit, but just for experimentation purposes. Yeah. think I like it. I think I like it like this. I'm gonna make it even bigger just so it can overtake that. That might be a little too tall. Let's bring that back down. The other thing to keep in mind too is that when you're playing around with stuff like this, you really do need to keep in mind what's on the top and bottom of this logo. Good logo design, you really do have space in between things. And you want that space to be kind of even between the tops and the bottoms, because you might want to do some cool stuff later with it, and you want to make sure that the space around the logo can really be kind of felt. I like the D, but I wish that the inside kind of curled a little bit like this. Let's try something. This is where you begin to kind of push the limits of the software. Ooh, they have some roundness over here. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's a game changer right there. That is a game changer. So we're gonna hit enter. Yeah, just to give it that little subtle hit. Like I could do that in multiple areas. So I can click this one here and just round that just a tad. Let's make sure our roundness points are similar. This one was 7. Let's come into this one. Change that to 7. Yeah, just to give it that like little extra bit of panache. Like once you get the font looking how you want it to, now you can kind of get into the artistic thing. So whenever I approach developing fonts like this, I find a nice font that begins, gives me a good idea from the beginning, and then I'll manipulate the font to look how I want it to if it doesn't have italics or anything like that. Then I'll go in and I'll artistically begin to change things about that font to kind of make it feel good. And the reason why this feels so good is because these are even all the way across in terms of width. Wonder how wide this is. I probably should have checked that before I did my union, but that's okay. So now that we have this like this, the next thing to do is to kind of cut into the space back here. I almost kind of, let me try something. So the vector is white right now. Here, I want to see what it looks like with the outline of the bolt going outside of here. So I'm going to do a stroke. Let's add this. We're going to make it black. Sticking that up. See, this is what I was talking about, that we need to unionize those two. Let me see if we can't get these to play well. You know what? Let's see. I wonder if I can add points in here. Nope. Not doing what I want it to do. Let me I think I'm going to go back to the original bolt that I had and see if I can't get this to jive well, because I am not seeing where I can completely flatten it. It says it's flat. It doesn't show anything weird, but for whatever reason, it's just not, it's still treating it as two different items. And yeah, it's not giving me, oh snap. Yeah, it's still still giving me weird stuff. So we're going to go back. This is why you save your original ideas. Duplicate it. Turn that one off. I wonder if I union this. And then flatten it. Nope. Still treats it as two separate ones. It's probably because I need to shift that over just a bit. Then let's see if we can't flatten it. Yep. That's what it was. Just need to move it over just a little bit. So now that I have that, let me turn this one back on. I'm going to do the exact same thing. So we're going to skew that. So apply. Bring this one up just a bit. Match it. Like so. Match this just right. All right, turn that one off. Good to go. We'll make this fill white. Back where we started. We will duplicate this. And now I want to see what the stroke is going to look like around it. Yeah. To go into any options inside of Figma, you just click this little menu button over here and it will give you what you need. I want this to be a round cap because I want to kind of give it a little thickness. So let me take this down just a bit. I don't want it too thick, just thick enough. It gives us some options, although I don't like how it's popping out over here. That's kind of nice. So how do we get rid of that? Oh my gosh. So this wins the cake for me. So being able to outline a stroke in a vector tool, design tool like this is like key. It's like a really, really important thing that really can only be found in Illustrator. So they're kind of winning me over with these options that they have working within vector tools like this. So that's it's kind of amazing. So turning this on and off, you can see what that does. It separates the stroke from the actual fill. So now all I have to do is go into vector mode and just add some extra points in here. So let's see, because I just want to cut off the tops and bottom portion, and then just get rid of everything else. So let me select these. I'm going to delete them, and that's not what I wanted to happen. So we need to be careful with what we delete. Looks like there's some fill action going on that is preventing us from that. That should do that though. Tab, or enter rather. Looks like it took the fill away. Okay, that's cool. We can get right back to where we were. needed to make those external. So we're going to do that again. Control D. I'm going to stroke it. Make this thick. We're going to change it from center to outside. Yeah. Same thing, it's got the round caps and everything like that. Ensure that we have no fill on this. Let's call this stroke. I'm going to save this too. Let's call this fill. Bolt, fill, bolt, stroke. Okay, this was the original union that we created. All right, so I'm gonna duplicate the stroke and we're gonna chop it off like we did before. So we're gonna jump right in. Oop. Gotta outline it first. Outline stroke, double click. We're going to add some points here, down at the bottom, and then we're going to select these, delete it. It removes the fill. We're going to add the fill back. Now, that's what we're talking about. That's pretty cool for an option. You know, it gives us, you know, you want to give some variation. So it's like, hey, you can turn the bolt on the top on or off to kind of give that people that extra sense of awareness that there's an actual lightning bolt in there. Yeah, this is looking pretty good. Let's add another font in here that has its actual channel name. So that's kind of huge. Let's take that down to like 25. Let's try that robot radicals. I'm gonna go with Poppins on this. And let's go get some font options, make this way up here. Let's change this to extra bold. Yeah. And then we're going to spread that out just a tad. Let's make it Ryte justified actually. And let's finish typing it out. Geek, Dunn, Ryte. Yeah. That's pretty nice. If I don't say so myself. Yeah. So I will update you on how this is going as we continue to expand the brand. So far, so good with my playing around with Figma, really enjoying the tool. I'm coming from Adobe XD to Figma, so just trying out some new tools and seeing how the workflow goes. Hope you learned something. Hope you enjoyed it. And I'll see you on the next one.